Oh, 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 yeah. Okay, this is future me editing. Just want to say, the microphone did cut out like 2 minutes into the fucking video. Matter of fact, I actually don't know if it recorded at all. So bear with me, y'all. The first like 20 minutes of the episode, the audio does probably sound a bit weird. Um. So yeah. Enjoy though. Oh, that's still recording. Hi guys, welcome back to the Yap Your Ear Off podcast. I'm so sorry, y'all. Whenever I do these episodes, I always check to see, obviously, how loud the microphone is, and I just see the volume reaching all the way up there, and I can't help but to think about your guys' ears. But actually, I don't care. Turn down your phone then. Don't complain to me. Don't complain to me. Turn down your phone. Thanks very much. Fucking complain to me that I'm too loud. Okay, just say you don't want me to be me! Anyways, welcome back to another episode. A lot of things I want to get into today. Starting off with, I don't know, actually. I don't know. I need to get better at segueing into my topics. And like whenever I start the episodes, I said this in the last episode, and I was like, I always have trouble starting off the episodes because it's always, for me, it's always the most awkward parts. Um, and because it's different. It's different than like talking to my friends. I think about when I send my friends voice messages, because bless their souls. Sorry, I'm checking my. I send them voice messages like 5,000 times a day, and with that, I send them 5,000 voice messages, and I'm always like, how do I send them voice messages? But it's different, because I mean, I think about that in a sense. I feel like the camera's not straight. Is the camera straight? Oh, you know what? Let's just leave it as that. Let's just leave it as that. Um, yeah. When I send voice messages to my friend, it feels way more casual, and I can just start it off as no matter how, I can just talk. That does not make sense. It doesn't matter how I start off the voice message. I just do it, And I was like, why can't I do that with my podcast? But I don't know. I feel like there's like I think if I don't know if there actually is, but to me, I feel like there's more layers to it, and it's like in a sense where it's like, well, if I want to be interesting, I need to make sure that all my thoughts and topics are cohesive, right? That's right. Whatever. Let's just get into it. God. Um. Okay. So yesterday, me and my friend were having a really interesting conversation that I wanted to. Well, I didn't know if I wanted to talk about it on here because it definitely could be controversial. Um. But I say let's just do it. What I wanted to talk about was separating art from the artist and whether or not you truly can do so. Because, and the reason why I bring this up is because, so, Melanie Martinez, she has, undergone the beginning. What? Hello? Undergone the beginning? Is that even the right? Can I speak English? It's my first language! You can't even speak it! Oh! She has started a new album rollout. Okay, it started yesterday when she released a little video clip teasing what this new album is going to entail. And I remember seeing it, and I saw it, and I was really interested in it. It looks really cool. And then I remembered I haven't listened to Melanie in a long, long time. Why did I stop? Right, the allegations. Right, so the allegations. Um, I started thinking, about the whole moral dilemma of whether or not you can truly separate the art from the artist. And I don't know. I don't know. I did some research. With that said, I watched one YouTube video, not exactly research, but I wanted to get some outside opinions because I don't know, man. I really don't know because obviously, if you're not aware of the situation, Melanie has been. I don't even know if I want to, because it's allegations, so we don't even know if it's true or not. But it's still like someone said it, so I don't know. I don't know, man. But she allegedly SA'd someone, I believe. I'm not too educated on what it is. Um but yeah, from my memory, I'm pretty sure it's something along the lines of, she had this close friend, and they're not friends now, but the close friend, the ex friend, had came out saying that, I think either Melanie got, I don't know, she did something and it was um definitely seen as potential SA. I don't even know if I want to say potential. I don't know. This is a very, I don't know. But anyways, after those allegations came out, I felt a bit uncomfortable listening to her, and I stopped. Um, and I haven't listened to her since. And then yesterday, as I mentioned, um, her her teaser for the new trailer popped up on my on my for you page, and I was interested in it. It looks cool. It looks like a good, great concept. I'm intrigued by it, and yeah, I don't know, but that's yeah. I got to thinking like, yeah, but she's allegedly a bad person. Um, and so that's why I don't know if you can separate art from the artist. I really don't. Because I feel like it's subjective. Like what I mean by that is I was gonna say I feel like it depends on the person and how their morals align, because obviously everyone's morals are different. Morals are one of the most ambiguous and subjective things in this life. Um, you know, some people just see good and bad. Some people see good, bad, and in between. You know, some people see none of that and have just this gray area. It very much depends on the person, and that's when I started thinking, maybe it's okay. Maybe it's okay because I am interested and I want to see what this is, and you know, I like her music. Even though I feel uncomfortable about her being a potential. um, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's subjective and it depends on the person. I also feel a bit like a hypocrite though because I look at a lot of other artists that are horrible people, and I don't listen to them at all. But I feel like it's also because I never did. Take Kanye West or Chris Brown, you know. They are very much known to be horrible people. Kanye West, and he's anti-Semitic, all racist. Like those Twitter comments, he has a whole song about that fucking German man. I don't even want to say his name because get the fuck out of here. Um, and then Chris Brown is abusive, no. And yeah, and so I look at those artists and I stay clear from their music. I don't listen to them. When people play them, I go, oh, why are you playing that? Why are you playing that? Wait, I just realized I have a Chris. So I have a Chris Brown song on one of my playlists. Oh, well, yikes! I totally forgot. Um, but yeah, but anyways, but when comes to Melanie, for some reason, I feel more inclined to be like, I think you can separate out from the artist. But I feel like I think that for a selfish reason, and because I'm biased, because I used to be a big fan of her. Like K through 12 was the album that really brought me into music. It's the first album that I've ever listened to from start to finish you know, and I loved it because it was and because she introduced me to concept albums, an album that tells like a cohesive story, and I fell in love with that idea of an album telling a story. And that's why I have such a big love for concept albums, or yeah, albums that story. So, I feel like when I say, in terms of Melanie, when I say like you can separate out from the artist, to me, I feel like a hypocrite, and I feel like I'm being biased, and I feel selfish because, to you know, it's selfish because yeah, I look at some artists and be like, oh, don't will you listen to them? You're weird. But then I look at Melanie and I'm like, you know, I don't support her, but I like her music and stuff like that. I don't know. I was a bit scared about talking about this, because I feel very undereducated, and I had a fear that, this will be, I don't know, somehow I'll get cancelled on Twitter or something like that, But I'm aware that I'm a little undereducated, and I do want to educate myself a little bit more. But that's the thing. I feel like separating art from the artist isn't something that you can educate yourself on. I mean, it is to an extent, but it goes back to what I said before, that it honestly falls under your moral views, and everyone's moral views are different. Some people may want to stay clear, and some people might stay clear from the artist but still indulge in the art. And I feel like no matter what, it's okay. I don't know. I don't know. It's very ambiguous, but I feel like to a degree it's okay, to do whatever you want, as long as you stay cognitive to the wrongdoings of that artist, and maybe find some alternative ways to consume the media or the art. Um, if you're not exactly comfortable with streaming their music or buying their albums, maybe don't do that and find alternative ways, or maybe just stay clear of it completely. I don't know. I feel like it's totally up to the person. Um, yeah. With that said, though, yeah. So I brought up this topic with my friend, um, and we got to talking about some of the other stuff that people have said about Melanie, and some of that stuff being how a lot of people have found it weird, you know, that sh her one of her first, no, not one of her first character that she created, um, for her music, Crybaby, was, well, a baby, and was portrayed as a baby, and wore all of these wore baby clothes and stuff like that, and people found it weird that she was putting a baby like character in situations like, sexual assault and, you know kidnapping and, stuff of that sense. People were also talking about how it was a bit weird that some of the artwork in for that album Crybaby was also a bit sexual. The artwork that I am thinking of, that is in regards to, is, I'll maybe put it up on here, but there's this picture of her character Crybaby in a bathtub with soap in her mouth, and people think that the way she has been drawn was depicted in a provocative way. And it got me and my friends started talking about that whole thing too, and my thoughts on that is, it may seem that way, yes, but I don't think that's the reason. I don't think that was the purpose. The reason why she chose, um Crybaby to or the reason why she portrayed Crybaby the way she did, I think, I interpreted it as Crybaby is represented in that way, as a metaphor for naivete, um, and innocence, and the fact that no matter how naive and innocent you are, you unfortunately could be a victim to things such as sexual assault, or was it sexual assault? Did Crybaby get SA'd? Because she gets kidnapped. She gets kidnapped, and then what about still? People thought that she was just romanticizing a lot of these horrible things, and also found it odd that she used the baby to show these things and stuff like that. And to me personally, thinking about that stuff, I think that the way I interpreted it is that she didn't purposely choose a baby to put through these situations, or baby-like character, but she chose a baby-like character to represent innocence, and that unfortunately things like this does happen. And that's just the way I interpreted it. And the whole thing with the artwork, looking potentially erotic or provocative. I feel the same way about that. Like, I don't think she drew it, or she got the artist to draw it to invoke provocative feelings. I think it was more like, I don't know. That's not the point of the art. The point of the art was that she was eating soap to cleanse her mouth because she didn't like what she was saying, or something like that. I don't know. Um, it's been such a long time, but yeah, I don't know. And once again, I was scared of me saying some of these things, and maybe one day it resurfaces, or it surfaces immediately, and everyone just like, and people are commenting like, you're a horrible person for thinking that way, or you're weird for thinking that way. But with things like that, I'm open to hearing other opinions. And that's the thing, that people need to start holding space for the fact that people's opinions can change. And if someone's opinions, like my opinions that I hold now, um, if someone educates me and puts more, opens my eyes a little bit more, people need to be okay if I suddenly make that switch and realize, oh yeah, some of that stuff that I said, in my last episode or a couple episodes ago, I take that back, and I've been educated more. Because I tend to see a lot of people, when stuff like that happens, when someone says something a bit bad, if someone like, someone puts out their opinion, and maybe they're undereducated and don't know a lot, or they didn't put too much thought into it, or whatnot. Um, one day if they come back and say, I've come to the conclusion that blah 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 blah, and they kind of re you know s- take back what they say and say something more, or say something else entirely. Some people are like, you still said that at the end of the day, so like you're still a horrible person, so fuck you. But that's not always the case. You need to be okay with the fact that um people need to be more okay with the fact that opinions can change for the better, and it doesn't mean that they're still a bad person. Because it take it can take a lot of effort sometimes to you know to put your foot down after someone educates you and realize, wait, they're right and I'm wrong, so let me change my perspective. That can sometimes be hard to do if you're I mean, you may find that hard to do. I don't know, but it's okay to do it. And if you see someone change their perspective, then leave them alone and stop bringing up what they used to say, because now they've changed and they've learned. Unless they're just saying it. No, never mind. That's a whole other thing. Anyways, I don't know. Leave your, I guess, opinions. My mic stopped recording. Ah! Ah! Y'all, so apparently my mic wasn't recording that entire time. Like, actually, don't piss me off. And I don't want to re-record this because my mom may be home any minute. Like, we are on a ticking time bomb right now, And if I don't record this before she gets home, I probably won't be able to record it until later tonight when they're all settled down in bed. Her and all my damn siblings. But with that said, I need to go to bed early tonight because um, I start class again tomorrow. So I don't want to be up late tonight. And I know that they're going to probably go to bed at 11 because they still have another week of holiday. I'm so sorry, y'all. That first 20 minutes, I'm probably just going to have to put it out the way that it was put out. And God, the only thing I can think of doing, because I don't want the audio to sound bad, the only possible thing I can try and do is re-record. No, I can't, because then I'm gonna have to like, I was gonna do a voiceover and just like write a script. Listen back to that last 20 minutes of footage, write a script, and then re-say everything I say. But that's probably stupid. Um, I'm so sorry, y'all, that the audio is gonna sound a little bit whack. Um, oh, that's so annoying. That's so annoying. Why wasn't I checking? God. Anyway, speaking of moral dilemmas, I don't know if y'all know about it. Let me nerd out real quick. Let me freak my shit and nerd out, okay? Um, so recently, okay, so there's this game series called Fable. Don't know anything about it. Never played a Fable game, but there's a new game coming out this year, and I was interested. So I looked at the 10 minutes of gameplay that they uncovered, and it looks so fucking fun, y'all. And I will be getting that game. I will be getting that game. It looks so cool. Basically, you play as a character in like a very medieval slash fantasy fairy tale type setting, and it looks so fun, y'all. It looks like a blast. um what's it called? You can like romance any of the fucking NPCs. The thing I think that's like obviously the thing that caught my attention the most was that a big part of that game is your reputation, and that depending on the choices you make, you'll be seen as a good or bad person. But I think in the earlier games, it was just that of make good choices, you're seen as a good person. Make bad choices, you get seen as an evil person. But this time they're flipping it around, and they're making morality more ambiguous, where you could make a decision that some see as good and some see as bad. You know, or one of the examples they use was like the character you play as bought like a bunch of businesses, and they got a reputation of being rich and having a tycoon. Um, and one person was like, "Wow, you're so cool, and you've given me a job and blah blah blah." And then some other person, when your character spoke to the NPC, there's like a thing next to them that says what they think about you, and it says they think you're a rich twat. A rich twat. Y'all know I eat that shit up. I love that word. And that's just so funny to me. And that seems like such a cool concept that to my knowledge, I don't think another game has done that, where instead of just having like a like Red Dead Redemption, how depending on your choices, you'll have bad honor or good honor. And it's just that, black and white, north and west. But this time, in Fable, they're making morality ambiguous, and that seems like such a cool concept. And like a lot of your choices that you make will affect gameplay. Like there's a quest where you'll have to either make the choice to kill a giant, or let him go free. And if you kill him, his body will remain for the rest of the game outside of a town. And in that town, house prices will go up and rent will go up. Which means in that town you'll probably be seen as an evil person, but then maybe for the rest of the world they'll see you as a good person for taking out a threat. That's like, it seems so cool. The humor seems like it's gonna have such fun humor. Apparently they're doing like those cutaways that they do in like sitcoms like The Office or Modern Family, or Parks and Rec. I love those type of sitcoms where they have the cutaways. So they're doing that type of thing with the game, because they showed it off in the trailer. Like it was like a a cutaway of like Not what I mean by cutaway is like, you know, where they take the characters and like interview them, um, in between scenes. They did that for like the first kind of teaser trailers, and people thought it was just for the sake of the trailer. It was just a cinematic for the trailer. No, it's a part of the game. That seems so cool to me. Like, that seems so fun and different, and I'm so excited for that game. It comes out in, I think, spring. Is it spring? Summer, autumn, winter. Yes, it'll be spring for us because I'm in the southern hemisphere. So it'll be autumn for the northern and spring for us. So yeah, that looks exciting, and I'm thrilled, and y'all will hear about that if I do play. Anyways, oh, the Oscars. So if you may have or may not have seen that the Oscars has, the nominees has been announced. Best Picture, we have Sinners, to my memory, Sinners, Mighty Supreme. What were the nominees? Well, I'm not gonna get into all the nominees. Y'all can look at that yourselves. I just wanted to talk more about the ones that I care about. Which honestly is only Frankenstein, because that's the only movie I've seen from all the nominees. Which, I mean, I'm going to right those wrongs, okay? I plan on watching Mighty Supreme. It just came out here in New Zealand, so I will go out and watch that. Sinners, I also do intend on watching. I wanted to watch it when it came out, but unfortunately I just didn't get the time, and by the time I had time to go watch it, it was out of cinemas, so I was waiting for it to go on streaming, and it is finally on streaming now, so I do plan on watching that. But out of all the nominees, Frankenstein was the only one that I saw and was like, yes, because that's the only one I've watched. Jacob Elordi got his first Oscar nominee, y'all! Supporting actor, I think he got. I'm so happy for that man. I'm so happy, as soon as he was nominated, I called him, because he was, he's off, filming and stuff like that, and he's on press tour for Wuthering Heights. So I called him, and I was like, hi, hubby, I saw that you got, nominated, and I just wanted to wish you, I just want to say congratulations, and I love you so much, and you've been my partner for 10 years, and it's been a long 10 years, and yeah, what can I say? I love that man. I love that man. Oh, y'all don't get it. Like, y'all actually don't get how much I need that man. Y'all actually don't get it. Y'all will never get how much I am ready to get on my knees for that man, because I will. I really hope that my teacher doesn't actually watch these. I told my teacher about this podcast, and, I gave her the name of it, because I wasn't going to not tell her. Like, I wasn't going to say, yeah, I got a podcast, but I'm not telling you. And sometimes I say things, and I think about the fact that she may watch it, and then, it's just like... But she probably thinks it's funny, right? I guess I'll find out tomorrow. But yeah, oh my god, I need that. Anyways, what else? What else is there to talk about? I don't know. Not a lot to talk about. My life is boring as fuck right now. I need to start, going out more. I need to get out of the house more. I've been cooped up in here too long. I've nothing to talk about other than media. Which, I mean, isn't this what the podcast is for? Talking about media that I'm indulging in and some other things along the way, because that's how I see it. I did finish reading the Hunger Books. The Hunger Books? Are you fucking stupid? Are you fucking stupid? No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. No, you're a fucking stupid idiot. I finished reading the Hunger Games. I need to get the other books immediately. I need to get Catching Fire and Mockingjay right now. I'm gonna get them back to back. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have much to say about the Hunger Games, though, because, I mean, it's been out for such a long time. And what I have to say has been said thousands of times. It's great. It's such a good book. Reading it, though, like, with current world events, it's very much like, damn. Like, we are a certain country, starting with A, ending with America. I mean, starting with A, ending with America, is heading down this path. Y'all, fuck ice. Hey, can I just say that? Fuck ice! Fuck you, ice! Fuck you all! You pricks! And with that amazing message, I think I'm gonna end this podcast episode right here, y'all. I'm so sorry that the audio cut out. I'll see if I can do something about that. I don't know if a voiceover would work out or if it'll just look stupid. Because I guess I'll have to rewatch my footage. Create a transcript and then, re-say everything and try and say it in the exact manner and, whatever. But hey, I guess it's good practice because I do want to be an actor, y'all. That is my ambition. My real ambition and dream in life is to be an actor. I think I've said that how many times now? 5,000? Okay, I really hope you enjoyed this one. I think this was a little bit of a short one today. But, I mean, hey, I guess that's a good thing because all of my episodes, my last 3-4 episodes, were 40 to an hour minutes long. An hour minutes? Seriously, an hour minutes? Are you stupid? I am currently running on 3-4 hours of sleep. Okay, so, hold some space for me. Hold some space for me, okay? Stop judging! Thanks for listening, bye!